So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about and introduce you to Morgan. Morgan is an AI that was created by Pavan Argval, and Pavan is the founder, president, CEO of SunWest Mortgage, who just purchased U.S. Metro Homes, right? U.S. Metro Bank. And so Pavan decided that, or came up with the mythology that if we can create an AI in a world where AI is already so popular, and that AI happened to have all the rules, regulations, and everything you could imagine with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, well, then there would be no thought process in whether or not somebody qualifies, right? And so this particular AI, we have a guest here today, Angel, who's going to come up and talk to you guys about it, introduce you to Morgan. But this particular AI does something out of this world. It reads documents, it calculates income, it calculates debt to income ratios. You could ask it any question about mortgages you want. Somebody asks you a question about a mortgage and it's 10 p.m. and you know your lender's sleeping, you could jump into Morgan and ask it that question. It doesn't even end there, because Morgan has evolved and become almost an AI assistant for real estate agents. Now, I don't want to give away everything because Angel's going to really go into a lot of this, but some of the things that it can do for you is build a website for one of your listings. So you could ask it to build you a website. You could upload the pictures, type in the MLS number, it'll email it to you within about an hour or so. You could ask it to communicate with some old leads that you have. So if you got some old leads that you need to revive and bring back up, and those of you that hate getting on that phone and making those phone calls, there are a couple ways that you could do it. You can upload your own scripts and timelines, and then tell Morgan to give Morgan the list, and Morgan will communicate with all those folks the way that you want it to. Or you could just say, hey, follow up with these leads and try to revive them, and Morgan will text and email them to try to get them back to the table. It gets even deeper than that, because if you're willing to work with the Morgan SunWest team, we can put a person, a human being behind the AI that would actually call them to try to get them revived and pre-qualified and back into your seat. So a lot of great opportunities. So the first thing that I'd like for you guys to do is, we're jumping in right now. We still got people joining, which is amazing. So first thing I'd like for you guys to do is, there are a couple things, because I want to continuously update you guys on what's happening here. So I'm going to put a link inside the chat box. Now, this link is particular to me. So I'd like for each of you to open that link, register on that link. I don't care if you do it now or later, it really doesn't matter. But more importantly, while you're here, I would like for you guys to open Morgan. And so the first thing I'd like for you guys to do, because as Angel comes in and talks to you about Morgan, I want you guys to be able to play around with it and try it out yourselves, right? So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, but I just put the link for Morgan in there. So open up Morgan on your computers, okay? And check her out. And so you should be able to see what I'm seeing right now, okay? Now, once you come and you've opened up Morgan and you see this, just click on Let's Chat. And Morgan will open up basically her chat box. And she's going to come in right away. You'll see that I've communicated with her already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close some of these things so that you can see it. And I'm going to run a new errand. And I'm going to say Freedom Webinar, because that's what we're doing right now. Okay. Now, those of you that have never opened Morgan before, you wouldn't see those other chat boxes. You just see that initial chat box, and she's going to say, good morning. How may I help you today? Okay. What I'd like for you guys to do is I want you to type in the word register. And you're going to see her respond to you the same way she just did to me. To begin creating an account, let's begin through verifying your profile details. Please provide your email address. So type in your email address, whatever it is. I'm going to put a different email address. I can't remember what I put yesterday. All right. I put that in. It says the email address provided already exists. I'm going to put a new one. And so just put in your email address. It'll prompt you to put your name. It'll prompt you to put your phone number. And so it's very important that you guys register on Morgan. So that way, when you come in to ask it questions and stuff like that, it can be tracked in the information that you're provided. Also, more importantly, you could run your own mortgages through this. Like you could submit your mortgages. Like if you have a client that you want to get pre-qualified, you'll be able to submit all the information right through here, and Morgan will pre-qualify them for you. And the best part about this, which Angel will describe a little bit later, is that if Morgan qualifies your client, SunWest Mortgage and US Metro Bank guarantee it. So they will close your client no matter what. Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm going to go to the chat box real quick. Once you're done registering, do me a favor, go ahead and go in the chat box and say done for me real quick. I want to make sure we give everybody a chance. I should have had some like cool like music in the back. Should have had that set up for you guys. Sorry, I'm slacking. All right, I see quite a few of you are done. We're going to give a few more minutes because I know we got like 50 people in this webinar, and I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity. Right, so you're going to see it as a 4-digit code for the steps. All right, somebody says they're waiting for their code. Cool. You should get it here in a second. I just got mine right now. Check spam just in case, Jeannie. Check spam just in case. This one says 5836. So I'll type that in there. All right, so mine just says thank you for registering. Juan, do you do the code and all that stuff? May read. All right, so I put the link in the chat box. Type in, if you didn't get to it, go to usemorgan.com. I'm going to put it in the chat box again. Hold on one second. Usemorgan.com.
All right, there we go.
And I promise you guys, this little like hold up getting you guys registered will be worth every step of the way as we go forward. All right, so now it's asking me for a mobile phone number. I can put, I can't use the same one. I can? Okay. Then it says, do you verify your phone number and consent to receive messages? And down here to say yes or no. So yes, please send me text messages. And then a 4-digit access code has been sent to your text messaging. I can check that, 4493. Thank you. Please enter a password. And so forth and so on. It lets you do your password and stuff like that. I saw somebody said, all right, so it says, how can I help you today? Yeah, Christine, so it says, how can I help you today? Type in the word register. Okay, I'm gonna run a new errand. We're just having fun here. All right, how may I help you today? I'm gonna say authenticate. Cool, it says provide your email address. I'm gonna say David at Adam Kurz. Whoop. Sorry, guys. Every time my Zoom gets a new person in the thing, it messes up my typing. And then it'll ask me for my password and continue the process, right? May says I'm providing my cell, nothing's happening. Okay, May, we could work on this later on. Shoot me a text, May. You have my information. So shoot me a text and I'll be happy to run you through it. Is that okay, May? So Juan Manuel got to roll. Asking his role. Yeah. So, realtor. You can type in realtor, Juan Manuel.
Well, it gives me a scroll bar and I chose it, but when I press enter, it just stays there.
Okay. How did you get there though? There's a little paper airplane. Try pressing that on the right side.
Yeah, I did. Nothing.
Nothing. All right. Connect with me later. We'll get it done. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Claudia, after you register, just chill. We're going to have Angel come up and she's going to tell you all about Morgan and all the amazing things that Morgan can do. And then, like I said, Pavan's going to jump in a little bit and connect with us as well. So I wanted to, I'm going to name this Angel and bring her up so she can talk to you guys. All right, I'm going to pay attention to the chats. So just any questions that you guys have, come on up. Any questions that you guys have, type them in the chat. She's going to see it. I'm going to see it. We're all going to be here being super attentive. We want this to be a huge benefit to you guys and really help you in your business. So here we go. This is Angel, guys.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. As David said, I'm here to share Morgan with you all. Morgan is your AI personal assistant. I know David mentioned earlier, but I always like to reiterate because sometimes it's hard to believe it is completely free. So you're not going to get to a certain point and she's going to ask for a credit card or payment method. Completely free to use. The reason we had you create an account is just to save you all some time and for ease of use. Anyone can go to usemorgan.com and utilize the service, but a couple of benefits to having the account. One, it's going to save you some time because as you guys start to use Morgan and her different features, the first time she's going to be asking you questions. Like someone mentioned, she asked what your role is because we have realtors that use Morgan. We have loan originators that use Morgan. We have consumers that use Morgan. So the more that, and that goes really for any AI, the more that the AI knows about you, the better and easier and faster it's going to be able to support you. So as you're working with Morgan, you all gave her your contact information. Now she has that. So she's going to learn more and more about you, and you're not going to have to repeat yourself as long as you are authenticated. The other benefit to creating an account is that all your conversations with Morgan are stored there on your screen. So if I were to close out David's browser window right here and open up a new browser window and go to usemorgan.com, assuming I hadn't cleared out the browser history, I'm still going to see all the same stuff. But if I did clear out the browser history, or I leave and I get on my cell phone and go to usemorgan.com, I'm not going to see the same stuff because Morgan would have no idea that I'm the same person until I authenticate. So the other great thing about creating an account is that you can go from your desktop to your iPad to your cell phone, authenticate, and have all of the same conversations that you have on your original device. Another great feature that David had highlighted is over on the right-hand side, Morgan Current Errands. This is essentially just different conversations that you're having with Morgan. So I know a lot of realtors and loan originators, they'll have a conversation or an errand open for every single client they're working with. Just helps you keep yourself organized, and also Morgan can be multitasking for you. So you can have her working on really an unlimited number of things for you all at once just by opening up a separate errand. So again, errands are different conversations. I think of it as like in your text message app where you have each of your conversations listed. We just call them errands because it's like you're asking her to run an errand for you. So to do that, on the right-hand side of your screen, if you're on your desktop, you're automatically going to see Morgan Current Errands up here. So at the bottom right-hand side, you would just click New Errand. You get to name your errand. So again, there's no right or wrong way to use errands. It really is your preference, how you like to organize yourself. But you can just name your errand, whatever you'd like, hit create task, and now you have another separate conversation going. When you're done with them, you can close them out. at the very top, your main Morgan errand, you're always going to see that. That is the Morgan screen. But you'll notice as we closed out errands, they're still listed here on your main Morgan screen. So if you ever closed it by accident, or a client, you closed a deal and they call you back a month later and you want to go back to that conversation, you can just find it on your main Morgan screen and open it back up. If you are on mobile, the interface is very similar, but different in one major way, and that is how you find errands. So if any of you are on mobile right now, on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to notice it's a little rope. So you can either tap the rope on the right-hand side or drag it over to the left, and then you're going to see your errands bar populate. So functionality there is exactly the same, but it's hidden a little bit there for you, just to make the user experience easier on a smaller device. So how Morgan can help you? Lots of different ways. That's why I always say just think of Morgan as a personal assistant. Morgan can do a lot of really cool things to help you build your business, different marketing functionalities, and as David said, can actually help you get your clients qualified. Morgan is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Morgan is actually bilingual. So on just to the left of your text field, you'll see that little American flag. If you click on that, you can click on Korean, Spanish, and English, which are the most popular languages that people use with Morgan. However, Morgan speaks hundreds of languages. So to me, the easiest way to change the language in Morgan is you just start talking to her in that language and she'll respond. In fact, I heard from a realtor the other day, they actually used Morgan as a translator with a client. So a client was most comfortable speaking Spanish. They were not fluent in Spanish. So they invited the client into a group chat with Morgan. I'll show you how to do that. And the client spoke to Morgan in Spanish. The messages appeared to the realtor in English. The realtor replied in English, and it appeared to the client in Spanish. So that right there, you can really expand your client base with someone you may have had to, refer to someone else. If you can't communicate effectively with them, you can use Morgan in that way. And she is a real estate mortgage expert, so she can speak the language in the industry language. So to invite a friend, I would encourage you to try this out just so you can see it from the invitor and the invitee perspective. Top right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little person icon with a plus sign. If you click on that, then it'll say slide to invite a friend. And Morgan, she may ask you to confirm because she wants to be really sure you want to add someone, but she'll ask, what is your friend's full name? So I'm just going to invite myself to this conversation. I would encourage you to do the same thing, invite yourself again, so you see the whole experience. So she's going to ask for my email address, or my friend's email address, and for my friend's phone number. All right, so now Morgan is going to, yep, I just got a text. Morgan sends both a text message and an email to the person that you've invited. They just click on the link and they're in the conversation as well. There is a security feature. So those of you that are following along there at home, if you join in to your own conversation, it gets a little confusing when you're playing both roles. But you'll notice that when you were invited, the whole conversation prior to you joining is blurred out. So if, say by accident, you were talking about another client, you had personal information in there and you forgot to start a new errand and invited someone else, they're not going to just automatically see. They can request to see the history. You get to say yes or no, but there is that security feature. So those are just some basic navigation tips within Morgan. As you can see, if you're used to a text message, you're used to instant message, the interface should look pretty familiar by design. You know, it's meant to be pretty simple to use, but there are those additional features that are cool to know. Down at the bottom, you'll see to the right of your text field a little paperclip icon. That's how you can attach documents. So we're on desktop here. We can attach a document or an image. Those of you on your mobile, or if you do go to usemorgan.com on your mobile, you'll have a third icon that's a little camera. So that's how you can send attachments or photos to Morgan. Lots of different ways that you could use that. If you would like to see what your client might qualify for, you know, it's 10 o'clock at night on a Friday and you meet a client and they want to go out looking for homes tomorrow, you can attach, you know, pay stubs, tax returns, whatever they have, send them to Morgan, give Morgan their information, and within hours, you know, by the next day, Morgan can have a fully underwritten pre-approval for you. Fully underwritten. That's not just, you know, typically a pre-approval, they run credit and AUS, and you guys know sometimes those hold up and sometimes they absolutely do not. So you can have a fully underwritten pre-approval by the next day. So you've got a pre-approval letter, you can take your client shopping, you know what they're going to be approved for. SunWest does warranty anything that Morgan tells you. So those pre-approvals are warranted. SunWest will stand behind them. I do see the question for any loan programs. Yes. So any, you know, conventional FHA, VA, USDA, Morgan uses, SunWest doesn't have any overlays, which are like additional rules that some lenders put onto different loan programs. So Morgan will answer your questions for any agency product without any overlays, which brings up another question that I get sometimes. You do not have to be sending your loan to SunWest to use Morgan. You know, if you have preferred lenders out there, you can use Morgan, ask Morgan questions, do income calculations, use Morgan for some marketing tasks for you, calling on your leads. You don't have to send the loan to SunWest. However, for SunWest to be able to warranty the answers, the loan does have to be with SunWest, because we can't go in and force anyone to accept our answers. So I've mentioned a couple of times marketing or, you know, lead nurturing. Those are additional really great things that Morgan can do for you. So you can tell Morgan, register lead, and provide Morgan lead information. You can do it one at a time, or you can say, hey, Morgan, I have a bulk file for you to upload and follow up on my leads. You can choose. She'll then ask you, how do you want me to handle this? Do you want me to send them emails? Do you want me to make phone calls? You can pick one, the other, or both. You can even provide your own script, your own phone script, and your own email templates. So you would do the same thing. You would just attach those with that paperclip icon. And then Morgan will send out email drip campaigns for you based on the instructions that you gave. The AI does not make the phone calls. That's another common question. So Morgan has human assistants. We like to call them her Morganistas. They actually do the phone calls for you. So they will follow the scripts that you provide. They are knowledgeable in mortgage. But of course, the goal that they'll have is to get them set up with a meeting for you. We actually did have a realtor recently drop in a bunch of what she thought were dead leads. You know, they weren't going anywhere. She wasn't really going to do anything with them. Dropped in all these leads, and it turned into 2 closed deals. So I do see that we have Pavan has joined us. Hi, Pavan, long time no see.
Good morning, all you beautiful people. And
I'm going to try to find you and pin you up, sir. There you go. Nice. Guys, you want to introduce Pavan?
Sure. So Pavan is the man, the myth, the legend, the brain behind Morgan. So Pavan is actually, he's living your dream. He's actually in Puerto Rico right now.
Absolutely living my dream.
Look at the beautiful weather out there.
I'm so bad right now.
It's like this every day except when there's a hurricane.
Awesome. So you wrote something in the message. So somebody had posted, I don't want to scroll back and look, but somebody had messaged that, I'll stand on this side. Somebody had messaged that it was asking for a bio and it didn't really give them a bio. So Pavan wrote that, you know, it doesn't really do memos and marketing documents for you because it's a low value feature, right? So what we wanted for Morgan, or what Pavan wanted for Morgan, was to give you that high value stuff, right? So think about, Morgan does high value work like lead nurturing. So it'll help nurture your leads. Like Angel was just saying, you could load up a bulk document of all those old leads that just feel like they're not alive, and you could turn them into closings, right? And there's a couple options behind this: loading your own scripting, or letting Morgan do what Morgan does and script out and communicate with your clients, or those leads that you think are dead from 2 years ago that probably need help right now, right? And so there's that option. And then there's a people option behind it, where Pavan has a full staff in the background trying to help out and wake these leads up, get them qualified for you, and put them back in your lap so you can take them out to go see some houses. Google boosting of your listings. So it'll help you boost your listings in Google. You could create your websites for your listings using Morgan. Complex buyer qualifications. I mean, like you know, Angel was saying, you know, so May asked, you know, how do I know what I need to provide to Morgan to qualify somebody? Morgan will guide you through that. Not only will Morgan guide you through that, but remember when Angel was saying you can invite a friend, right? She was showing you what that looks like. You can invite your client to this, and your client can talk to Morgan and provide the information directly. And Morgan will tell your client exactly what Morgan needs to get them qualified, right? And by the way, full disclosure, guys, I'm showing this to you guys because I think there's tremendous value behind it. My wife is the lender, not with StoneWest, okay? Like, so, you know, me helping you with this, I'm going totally against my household. But I just really think that it's way more than just pre-qualifying clients. There's so much more that it does. So Pavan, if you want to really just tap into that, we would love to hear from you, man.
Yeah, there's another question that just came up. Can Morgan answer client questions about a property? No, Morgan does not have property database information in it. That would also be encroaching on a realtor's professional experience. Okay, so I mean, maybe some basic stuff. You know, Morgan can share the listing. If you create the listings through Morgan, Morgan can share the listing with the customer, but it stops there, because Morgan's really centered around values for you, like lead nurturing, getting your listings boosted, and is centered around the financing process, which is the most complex part of the business. And what it solves is a buyer calls you 8 o'clock at night and says, here's my situation, and I want to go looking for houses. You think I qualify? Okay, so you don't have to go turn around trying to find your loan officer. You just take whatever information the buyer gives you, you drop into Morgan, and Morgan will give you an answer where this buyer lands, and usually does that within an hour. And whatever answer it gives you, you know that someone wants to stand behind it. There's a multi-billion-dollar lender that will stand behind it and will honor it exactly whatever Morgan said. Right. And that's the difference. And then as far as competing with David's wife, Morgan doesn't compete with any other lender. Okay, because it is a tool available to the entire industry. So David's wife can, and I think she's already using it. So the only thing about Morgan is that, remember, it's owned by my tech company. So I have a separate AI tech company. And the tech company has a partnership with SunWest, where SunWest has agreed to issue a warranty on everything Morgan does. Right. So if when other lenders jump on that warranty, okay, then there will be more lenders on the platform. Okay, so that's the direction.
One of the things that I'd like to jump in and say, so Jen used it yesterday. She loaded in a bunch of client docs, and within like less than an hour, it had already calculated the client's income and everything else. And that was her just playing around with it, testing it out, because she had already done the work on this, and she went in and did that. And so the funny thing is, you know, Pavan and I and Angel and a bunch of other people were in Vegas last week or a couple of weeks ago, and the owner of PRMG was there, and one of the regional directors was there, and they mentioned how some of their agents or some of their MLOs are using Morgan to verify information, ask them questions, things like that. So this is an open platform to anyone who wants to use it in our industry for the purposes that it works.
Yeah, so to answer the question directly to Willie asked, can your preferred lender register with Morgan? Is it limited? The answer is no, it's not limited. So literally anyone can register with Morgan. They can use Morgan to the limits of their imagination. So I always share the kind of the most popular things that I see and hear people using Morgan for, but then someone will come and tell me something I never thought of using Morgan for, and that it worked. So yeah, anyone can register with Morgan. See,
May says, does Morgan know different types of loans?
Yes. So Morgan does know different types of loans. She can answer your questions about FHA, VA, USDA. She also knows DPA's, down payment assistance programs. So that can really help you when you're talking to a potential buyer as well. If they don't necessarily have the cash to put down 20%, you can say, hey, Morgan, what DPAs are available in this zip code? Morgan will give you a list, and then you can ask her, you can provide as much information as you have about the client, their situation, and say which one would they qualify for. So that can help you figure out if they'll be able to get some down payment assistance programs from a government, local agency.
Let's see. I'm trying to invite a contact, but it asks for an email that I do not have. How do I get past that?
Yeah, that I'm looking into that. I saw that message.
Okay.
It should have gotten past that. It is new technology. Every once in a while, you will hit across something like this. Just let us know. And you can also, Angel will give her, you can all have Angel's number. Yeah.
You can ask Morgan. Yeah. Well, actually, my number's right on the screen there. But that is another cool thing to know about Morgan and how to use Morgan is Morgan is what is called augmented intelligence. So when we think of AI, we think artificial intelligence, 100% a computer, and just by human nature, we feel like, okay, I have to use a specific prompt, right? I have to know exactly what it can and can't do. And augmented intelligence, which is what Morgan is, means there's always some level of human oversight throughout the process. So if you ever do run into something where, how do I get past this? Well, luckily you got the CEO on the line. He's going to look into it for you. But when you don't, there will be, if the AI ever gets stuck, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there is human assistance. There are Morganistas who will hop in to help. Which brings me back to another point of the benefit of already having your account established, because if at any point you do need to wait, so the AI in Morgan is always learning, and you can ask it things that maybe it hasn't learned yet. In fact, I think yesterday your wife was asking about average purchase prices here. Yep. And Morgan said, give me a minute, I'm looking into it. So it was a question that no one had happened to ask yet. Morgan found it out and got her that information. But you don't, if that happens, you don't even have to sit and hang out in the Morgan screen. Morgan will send you a text message and an email when the answer is available. So
as realtors, what would we do or write to add those past leads?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. So a lot of realtors, what they've done is they've taken their, they usually have a spreadsheet of their past leads, and they'll just hit the paperclip icon on Morgan and upload it. And then tell Morgan, this is my past leads, can you start nurturing them?
So the idea is to really talk to it as human as possible.
Yes.
And I know that's hard, guys. I was having trouble with that yesterday. I was typing and I kept like trying to type like I was a computer, you know, but you just got to train yourself to talk to it like it understands you the way you would be texting a friend.
Yes, that is correct. And the next question, is there an app for this? Yes, there is. On Play Store and Google, I think you search for Empathetic AI or Empathetic Morgan, something like that. Morgan Empathetic. I think if you search for, here, I'll put it here. I remember now what it was. Search for Morgan, EMPATH.
And then as far as the app, like this thing is super mobile friendly.
Right.
So, you know, feel free to just use morgan.com on your phone.
Yes, exactly. So on your phone, web browser, Safari or Chrome, you can just type usemorgan.com. It works exactly the same as the app. On what my experience is on an iPhone, the app just gives you a better experience because Safari is so hokey.
Yeah, that's why I use Chrome on my iPhone.
Yeah, I hate Safari, but that's a different story.
Yeah,
but the reason why on the phone web browser it works as has all the same features as an app would is because when you invite a borrower in, when you got a fresh person that you want to join into the conversation, you don't want them to fumble around and have to download an app. That'll just, you lose the customer.
Right.
So, but everyone has a web browser on their phone or whatever device they're on. We even have some people, some of our loan officers, they use it on their Tesla.
Oh, nice. Huh. All right.
Yeah, there's also,
hopefully they're not driving when that happens.
There's a little microphone icon down here, so there is speech to text. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're using speech to text
while they're driving. Yes.
All
right. So there was a good question that said, let's see. All right. So when the leads go in, how do you know what's happening as the realtor? Like, how do you know what follow-up process is happening? How do you track it?
Yes, that's a good question. And also there was a CRM question. So Morgan is like, it is basically a CRM from your perspective. It does everything a CRM does. It's just does it in a very simple interface. So you upload the leads and it'll just start calling. And you can also upload your own, if you want your own telemarketing scripts or you want your own email scripts templates, you just upload them. You give Morgan the Word files that says this is what I want to email on day 1, day 10, day 20, whatever, and Morgan will load it up into his database. Okay. Currently, we have a once a week report that we give to anyone who's registered of their lead progress. We will have a full dashboard feature available in Morgan probably by early next month, where you can get near real time progress on your leads, and you'll see what's actually happening to them in real time. But right now, you get it once a week. I think every Monday you get it. You'll get an email.
Awesome. Then it says, will it follow up for real estate to obtain a mortgage? So those leads, will they be followed up with to get them pre-qualified?
Yes. So when you upload a lead, you should tell Morgan whether if it's a spreadsheet, you should have a column whether it's a listing or whether it's a potential seller or potential buyer, right? Because sellers, you're obviously not going to say let's get you qualified when you're a seller, right? It's going to just talk to them about let's get your home sold. So buyer leads, Morgan will say, hey, I'm calling on behalf of David Kurz. I know you talked to him. in the past, and he's the best agent in the universe, and he's going to be able to get you. He's going to be able to get you a great deal on a house. So let's get the process started. Let's get the process started by getting you in a situation where you can make a offer as good as cash.
Nice.
So when you're adding your leads, you have the opportunity, if there's a script that you want the Morganistas over the phone to use, or an email template or multiple email templates, depending on, first, second, third contact, whatever you want to do, you just tell Morgan. So for the person who asked, is it a CRM? Sort of, but you don't have to sit there and set up all your own campaigns and do all the clicking. You just talk to Morgan. Literally, you can use the microphone icon. Just talk to Morgan, tell her what you want.
Yep.
Yep.
And you could also tell Morgan you're not happy with her and that you want to talk to a human. And Morgan will actually escalate that to one of the executives.
So Vaughn is saying I asked Morgan to write a follow-up for a new lead after I answered all the questions. It says, thank you for registering the lead. SunWest representative will contact your customer on your behalf. So does this mean that we're giving out our lead contacts to a third party?
Yes, you are, but they are your leads, and we're going to always honor that. And that's why you can give it your custom script as well, because we will email them and contact them in the way you want it to be contacted. So
if I don't want to upload a custom script and I just want to let you guys do your thing, can I do that too?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And remember, this is a cloud-based system, right? So people don't think about using Gmail, Google has all your data. And if you read the fine print, they literally have all your data.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Whatever system you're using, it's whenever you're on the cloud, is that third party has all your data. It's no different than any other third party system. The advantage of SunWest contacting your buyer is that SunWest is licensed to talk to consumers. So the Morganistas work for SunWest, so under that license, they can talk to consumers and get them qualified. Right.
Yeah. So the idea, Vaughn, is that all those leads that you have in your system that are just what you would consider dead at this point, and maybe you just kind of stop trying. I think everyone has that CRM that you hope the drip campaign wakes them up. Take those old leads and pop them in here. And dude, if because Morgan does have a partnership with SunWest, so if a SunWest representative gets them qualified and back on your lap to show properties, they're gonna vouch for you. They're gonna edify you because they're your leads. So they're gonna say something along the lines of, Vaughn, your real estate agent, asked us to reach out to you, get you qualified, get you out on the road looking at properties. And if they get them qualified, great deal. Now you got a qualified buyer that you can take out and show properties to. That was a dead lead in your system.
Yes, exactly. The next question is a great question. And so Morgan does call. Actually, there's the humans that we call Morganistas. They're bilingual, English and Spanish. They're all right here in beautiful Puerto Rico, so they all have a great attitude. And they will call their employees of SunWest, so they're allowed to talk to consumers. A lot of people don't understand. There's a very, very tough regs on talking to consumers about anything, even whispers about financing. So they do. There are humans that will call, and they'll call according to the script that you provide. And again, David is the master at closing deals and marketing. So David has his pulse on exactly how these people will be, the Morganistas will be talking to your customers. And one of and is highly compliant. And a lot of realtors, skip some of these steps. Like, what if the borrower is on a do not call list, or if he put himself on a DNC? That's like $5,000 of violation. Right. And so usually when realtors start calling their old leads, they forget to scrub it. Morgan does the scrub automatically every day. We have the whole database, and it's daily scrubbing it. You're never going to get hit with the DNC violation.
Nice.
You can't, the federal regs, especially in Florida, is very tough laws in Florida about texting people. Okay, you can't text them unless they very explicitly have agreed to allow you to text them. The Florida laws are tougher than federal laws on texting.
Yeah.
Okay, so Morgan is aware of all of that, and it makes sure all that's in compliance. The last thing you want is a class action, right? With 100 borrowers asking for $5,000 each.
Yep.
And a lot of realtors and loan officers don't pay attention to those things, but it's real. And Loan Depot just got sued in a class action for this very same thing.
Oh, it happened to me in 2017. Got TCPA violation. My agents were calling their leads and their contacts. And of course I owned the brokerage at the time, so I got the lawsuit.
Yeah. So curious, why is this free considering all the great benefits it provides? Well, the same thing. Why is Google free? Why is Facebook free? Right.
I mean, you can send me $25 a month if you want.
We're a tech company. We're valued on user base. To put in perspective, ChatGPT is free, and they're valued at $3,000 a user.
Wow.
Right.
And they've got a few users.
Yes. That's what we're going for. We're going for the valuation.
Awesome. Does anybody have any additional questions? We'd love to see, and unmute yourself, guys. Like we're at that point of the meeting now. So unmute yourself if you got any great questions.
Can we get maybe like a script or any example? What would be how to use it better instead of like not knowing where to start?
Yeah,
absolutely. So let me help you with that real quick. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a link inside the chat, and I put this link in there earlier, but I want you guys to register on this link so that you get tagged on my database as a Morgan user. And so just type that in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Pavan and the team to provide me with nice instructional details on how you can do different things. And I'm going to get it out to everybody on an email. Okay. So that way I can get it out to you guys and you can use this to its maximum capacity, because we really want you to be able to look. I say it all the time. AI is not going to replace you. The competitor that is using AI will replace you. It's not about the AI. AI is a hammer. It's a tool. It's about how you use the tool. And so the agents out there using Morgan, using ChatGPT, using Genie AI, using all of these tools, they're the ones that are going to win in this future market. And they're the ones that are going to get more information out in a timely manner, and they're going to get things done. Now, you can see it for yourself already happening. And so I want to bring you as much of these tools as possible so that you're using them at a really high level.